Yeshua Yaakov Ben Avraham, and I'm making this video from Jerusalem, and the subject is John McCain's accusation that Obama cannot be trusted. The meta-narrative involved here derives from a crash today. There were two helicopters, in fact medical helicopters, that crashed over Flagstaff, Arizona, and 7 people died. The meta-narrative of that collapse has to do with John McCain's statement. It's specious, unfounded, and far more importantly, it's an attack on Barack Obama's credibility, his trustworthiness, that he's well earned and is well entitled to, and this was a big mistake on the part of John McCain, and he will pay very dearly. And that's the meta-narrative of the grammar of these two helicopters. They were medical helicopters, and the meta-narrative means that he did injury to himself, and he's going to need some help. That's it, folks. I'm the author of Humanomics, the trilogy for the post-collapse of the East-West convergence model. It's comprised of 2 paradigms: the new economic paradigm, the new cognitive behavioral science paradigm, which is its central organizing principle. What's to be said? The collapse of the local reality means the end of the old anthropologic, sociologic, psychologic model of man's mind, which is giving to receive. I give, I get. Well, folks, that's collapsed. It's finished. It's no more. And what replaces it is receiving to give, receiving the authentic you, to give the authentic you to whom? To the authentic you, to your children, to your family, your community, and your nation, and to all mankind. This is the central organizing principle, receiving to give, of Humanomics, which is the new East-West convergence model for the post-collapse of the local reality globally. 18 years ago it began, and it's going to go around the world. It's already visited about a dozen countries. Okay, that said, let's come to one other, I think, very important issue, and it is this. The U.S. presidential campaign narrative in general is economics, and specifically, in very particular terms, it is the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor. Well, I'm the author of the new economic paradigm, and why is this the meta-narrative and the central organizing principle of the new world economy, and therefore it is the central narrative of the U.S. presidential campaign. It is because the biggest problem that America and Americans face now is the absolutely imploding to ground zero of the U.S. economy, and the reason is manyfold, but we know the most obvious is the price of oil, soon to be $150+ per barrel. The macro economy is still based upon division of labor, methods of organization, which is no longer the least cost macro method. They need, Americans need the new economic paradigm, and I'll tell you now why. First, it's the least cost macro method of organizing the mass production and distribution of what America now predominantly produces, and that is knowledge, information, services, and technology for export, not physical goods. So the integration of labor is the new economic paradigm that identifies information in classical terms as the new agent of transformation, and it has 4 major enabling technologies that will be developed and implemented as world-class global technological infrastructure. So the next president of the United States has to seek and secure a mandate to develop on a supply-side project, to develop the world-class global technological infrastructure based on the new economic paradigm. It will require $5 trillion of investment, of which 60% or $3 trillion will come from the G9 as strategic partners, and the other 4 from from the United States, it will be amortized over 20 years. It will take the U.S. economy from a 14 trillion to a 45 to 50 trillion level in 20 years. By years 11 and 12, it will have doubled, and by 15 and 16, it will have tripled the purchasing power of the dollar. It will eliminate the national deficit, the social security deficit, and the trade deficit. It will provide surpluses sufficient to fund full national insurance from cradle to grave, and for comprehensive education from kindergarten through college for every American that wants an education. It's a win-win situation. I'm the author of The New Economic Paradigm, The Integration of Labor, and so therefore they're having this half-baked contest by NBC and MySpace to be the convention journalist, and so I'm the convention, the citizen journalist for the convention, and why? Because the campaign narrative is the new economic paradigm. I'm the author of the new economic paradigm, so it's the story, and so as the citizen journalist, I guess, as well as the author, I guess I get to scoop everybody. Anyway, so I get a free airplane round trip ticket to the Democratic National Convention, and a box of popcorn, and I get to shake hands with the elephant in Minnesota. Anyway, let's get serious. The campaign narrative is the new economic paradigm, folks. That's what will solve the problem. This is the over-the-horizon vision with underlying world-class science and technology content. It's not a theory. It's not spin. And so therefore we move on to what is the reality of what has to be done. And this is what has to be done. It has to be developed, implemented, culturated. It will create, when the project of the global technological infrastructure project proceeds, by the end of the first year, this project, this massive supply side project, will be creating tens of thousands of sustainable domestic content jobs in the U.S. until it reaches full employment by years 10 and 11. And when I say full employment, I don't mean 4% unemployment, which is the standard fare of most economists. They consider 4% unemployment full employment. I'm talking about 0, 0, 0. Every American that wants a job will get one. So the development, implementation, and acculturation of this new economic paradigm model as world-class global technological infrastructure based upon its four major enabling technologies: the new model of systems integration, the new model of network services, the new model of human development, and the new model of natural intelligence. When you combine those four macro sub-model enabling technologies in the context of world-class global technology, you transform not only the productivity and producing capacity and efficiency of the economy, but as well the scale, and it provides a macro calculus, meaning you get an integral calculus for the macro economy. You get an overall effect that the whole of the economy raises, and then you get the differential calculus, which is the particular states, cities, and communities that are all particularly benefited with the differential calculus. So you have a win-win situation for everybody. So again, the integration of labor replaces the division of labor. This is the narrative. This is the U.S. presidential campaign narrative, and this should have been already been discussed on the stump. I've already been had McCain's people saying it's wonderful and come and join us, but I've already endorsed Barack Obama. So come on, Barack, get on the stump and get with the program. Thanks for listening. I'm Yeshua Yaakov Ben Abraham, formerly Michael O'Donnell, living in Jerusalem, American citizen, living in Jerusalem for the last 22 years, and had a bit of a rocky road for a while here and there. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I wish you blessings from Jerusalem. Kabel B'Shilatet.